too, if you noticed, one of the things ASUU was really fighting for was the fact that they are telling the federal government, come on, you're creating universities, we do not have a problem with it. But these universities you are creating, you're not maintaining them. You cannot keep creating something when you're not maintaining. It's like giving birth to multiple children, and you don't even have money to feed them. So
yes,
this is one of the things ASUU is really fighting for.
Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of coming to this YouTube channel, you're welcome. Please click on the subscription button and then turn on your notification. And if you have been on this channel before, thank you so much for following us on this channel. So today we are going to have a very productive discussion. But before we go on, I would like my speakers to introduce themselves. My name is Emanuela. You already know me now. And okay, ladies first. So please, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Esther, a third year level student, BMLS.
Okay.
Okay, my name is ASUU. I'm a 300 level student, medicine and surgery, University of Ibadan.
We are all 300 level students of the University of Ibadan, and we are going to be talking about ASUU strike. The truth is that this strike, I don't know, but I believe it has affected all of us. Maybe to you it's positive, to some people it's negative, but we'll talk about the ASUU strike generally. And most times when we hear ASUU, we say strike as if maybe if they ask you the synonym of ASUU, you just say strike. So in this video we are going to talk about ASUU strike generally, and then we'll talk about the way forward. Is it possible? We'll also discuss, and someone posted on social media that it's good for students to contribute to 200 naira, something like that. For students to contribute to 200 naira, so we can settle ASUU and move on. But then in this video we are going to talk about it, and I would also like you to use the comment section when you're done watching this video and air your suggestion. Then thank you. Okay, so we can't actually go directly into knowing the solution to ASUU strike without knowing what ASUU is. So I'll start from my right, ladies first. So the beautiful girl will be telling us what ASUU is all about.
Okay, meaning of ASUU is Academic Staff Union of Universities. It was a body that was established in the year 1978, and it replaced the NAUT that existed then, 1965.
Okay, so do you have something to add to that?
Well, it's Academic Staff Union of Universities, like she has already said, is an academic body that kind of, it's kind of a canopy for all the lecturers in the university. Okay, so the other ones too, like the NASU and the SANU, and the other factions too of the academic staff union, like the one that is present in Unilorry, which stands, I think, ICYMI, something like that.
ICYMI.
Yeah, something like that. So these are also part, but I think they finally reconciled with the national body. So that's, I think that's what I can say about ASUU for now.
Okay, so I don't know. To a lot of people actually, ASUU is almost like strike. When you hear ASUU, it's as if you should just carry strike and join the full meaning. Maybe from Academic Staff Union of Universities to maybe academic, you can replace the staff to strike.
That would really make sense.
Strike Union of Universities. But there's a doctor here. There's a doctor in my department. Like I don't know if I should mention it. He's Dr. Adetono. He keeps saying that ASUU is not synonymous with strike, but he keeps saying the good side of ASUU. Is there really a good side of ASUU?
Yes, there is good side to everything. Okay. What ASUU is doing today, in as much as it's affecting the students, they're also fighting for the students. In as much as the large portion, they're fighting for their own pockets too. But I think there's good side to everything, and it also has its own good sides.
Yeah. What could be the good side of ASUU?
To me, just like a father will be needed in a home, so the body has been responsible actually for various academic feats that we've had so far in the years. They've actually helped the school in fighting for the students, for the creation of more schools, of more universities, and then the welfare of teachers and lecturers. So there's actually a good side to ASUU. It's not just a figurehead body.
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
To also add to that too, if you noticed, one of the things ASUU was really fighting for was the fact that they are telling the federal government, come on, you're creating universities, we do not have a problem with it. But these universities you are creating, you're not maintaining them. You cannot keep creating something when you're not maintaining. It's like giving birth to multiple children, giving birth to children, and you don't even have money to feed them. So this is one of the things ASUU is really fighting for. If you create more universities, make sure you fund the universities, make sure you adequately, so that we can have something fantastic. You can have a serene environment to learn under. You don't expect a student, maybe have 200, let's say some people have 1,000 students in the class that's supposed to be seated by 100 people.
By 100 people?
Then you see some people hanging around the windows, some people they're sitting on the floor, some of them don't even have
standing outside and all of that.
There's no fan, no AC, they don't even have a slide, a PowerPoint and all of that.
Yeah, actually in most universities that's the reality.
So ASUU has its own good parts, in as much as the negative side seems to overwhelm,
the society paints it as though it's all about a strike, but it's not really like that.
Side.
Yeah, it's not. I believe if not because of ASUU, by now those of us in federal universities would have been like our educational system would have been like whack, because it's as if the government, I stand to be corrected, but it's as if the government, they will just take their children abroad or take their children at worst to maybe private universities and just leave us like that. Okay, you all do. I don't know, because in my primary school I went to a public school, and now when I go to that public school, I find out that it has almost like closed up. Everywhere is now like closed up. It's only the private school in that village that's functioning. So when it comes to the federal university, so I don't know if the government wants it to close up as well, and then leave only the federal university, the private universities to be functioning. So I think the good side of ASUU actually is that they are fighting for us, so that even though you are from a poor background, you'll be able to go to the university.
Very, very, very perfect.
Yeah, so that's it actually. Now, who is at fault? Is it ASUU or federal government?
You mean for these strikes?
Yes, for what is happening. Yes.
Okay, let me go first. I'll actually blame the government for not understanding the body and understanding their plight. I guess maybe I'm not sure what the leaders, the applied concerning this. I'm not sure where all their children are, but I feel that it's actually because most of their children, if not even all of them, are not going to all these schools. That's why they are not pinched by the pains of the ASUU body. Because I can't imagine a parent in his or right sense, having all their words with them day and night, and then they just feel like, apathetic about the whole issue and they don't want to do anything about it. I feel it's because most of their children, their wards, or perhaps some of them, they already have grandchildren, are perfectly, situated in nice schools, some over, some in private schools. That's why they don't feel, the how do I call it now, the heat.
The heat that's on them. It's somebody that's wearing the shoe that knows where it
pinches. Because this ASUU strike has been reoccurring for several years.
Yes.
And there was this research I made that said out of the 21 years that the ASUU body has been kind of operational, like 1,500 days they've been on strike. You can just imagine how traumatized some students will have been. Let's bring it a little bit closer now. Let's take the University of Ibadan now, for example. I can imagine how happy these newly freshers felt when they felt like okay, they were resuming, just for them to just enter after almost just a week or two, and then they have to go back home. I can just imagine the frustration, the pain written all over their faces. How can they be, how could they be freshers for 2 years? There's nothing fresh about that at all. They already, they should even be planning going to, exactly, they should be planning, going to 200, concluding 200 level, going to 300 level, not considering the corona issue that happened 2020.
Exactly.
ASUU actually struck for 9 months. You can just imagine, if not for corona, it would just have been so dastardly to the educational body. So.
To add to what she has said, she rightly blamed the federal government, which obviously you cannot mince words when you are blaming the federal government. The truth be told is that when you create something, you said you want there to be universities. Now it is your own problem to fund it. If I am a father and I give birth to a child, until that child is up to the point of taking care of his or herself, it is my responsibility to take care of that child.
Yes.
Quite all right, the Nigerian university system, to an extent, even the lecturers, I won't mince my words, have failed, because by now, after taking example of my university, 71 years, of 73 years now, they should to an extent stand on their own to an extent. It's like having a 3-year-old man should stand on his own.
Yes,
Definitely.
Yes.
But
even if it's a walking stick, at least it should be a well.
No, let me tell you something.
Well-respected
The money we
man.
actually pay is in Abuja. It's not as if the government too does not want to leave them alone. If the government can actually leave them, that the money they are generating from the university should be in the university's pocket, you see that they will do exceedingly well. But our money will be in Abuja. They have to still sign to collect money to maintain the university, sign to collect money to do things in the university.
Let me even burst the bubble. You know, when you have things like this, you have a university whose misplaced priority is a lot. Like, imagine having, for example, around till 2019, I think Nigeria spent about 1 trillion on subsidy, and education only has about 200 billion. You can even think about if it's even up to.
We already have a misplaced priority.
That's a misplaced priority.
Exactly.
Because this education should be the most important funding, sector
Yes.
of a particular government.
Because when you train a child, you are like developing a whole village. If you are the first engineer from your village, there's a tendency that people will look at you from your village and want to be engineers.
Definitely.
So
If federal government have a sector and they fail to fund that sector, they have failed. There's no excuse for it.
Exactly.
Because I cannot imagine
They have abysmally failed.
Exactly.
There's
I
no
cannot
excuse for it.
imagine a nation, having like a budget, having like maybe 1 trillion assigned to it, and then the educational sector is having way like less than 10% or maybe like 15% of it. It actually shows that the government, they do not like value education at
educational
all.
system,
As if we should just be nomads, we should carry our cattle and then be walking down the street.
To be sincere, why will you value something you
You
do
don't
not
have.
take part of? Your children
Exactly.
don't even go to.
Exactly.
It's like saying that okay, you care much of how Mama Nkechi cooks her food, but you do not go to Mama Nkechi's house to eat.
Exactly.
So you really do
So
not care.
you tell Mama Nkechi, God bless you. You will receive more customers.
But
You are not even a customer.
You are not a customer, so you are not feeling it.
Exactly.
A minister is still current minister claim, or many of them claim that their children. Of course, one said his daughter was studying medicine in Unilag. Of course, I saw when she graduated. But if that be the truth, then why? Of course, you are a minister. You have to an extent.
Yes, you have a say.
You have a say. You get your to an extent. Your child was feeling that strike. Then why are you not doing something?
Exactly.
That's where the problem comes. The problem is in the grassroots, and which is the government. Of course, ASUU and the professors are also not, they are not far away from the blame. Yes, but the person that bears the whole blame is the federal government. If you do not want to fund this thing, then make other ways to fund it. Make other ways. But if you have accepted to fund this thing, then you have no excuse to fund that thing that you agreed. So definitely they are at fault. So they are very much at fault. In fact, they carry the fault. Like, I would divide it 80-20.
Yes. So on the part of ASUU, the place I will actually blame ASUU to some extent is this body has professors. Like now they have been using strike, and it's as if the government is not responding. Exactly. It's like when it's as if they have developed antibodies.
Exactly. And the antibiotics are no longer reactive.
The government, one thing you should know is that this our government is immune to a lot of things. They are very, very, very resistant to a lot of things. In fact, sometimes you see some of them. It even happens on Twitter where you see some people defending, and you are wondering, is this person not living in this? So it's something that we constantly see. It's something that we constantly see.
It's something that we constantly see.
Yes, they are really immune to a lot of things.
They are immune to a lot of things. So
they take what do they call this thing when you want to take a vaccine for?
Exactly.
Vaccine,
and
yes.
your body is already
For a lot of problems,
and you're just giving it, and it's just like
dishing and dishing out.
So since the government is immune to this strike of a thing, does it mean that these professors can't sit down and think of a different way to go about the federal government?
Well, let me start by saying something. These professors, if we have to be very honest, they are not well paid. Let's be very, very honest. They don't even get grants to.
Why would somebody go on for sports and using your brain? I mean, the brain is like the powerhouse of the body.
Yeah.
So if somebody is using the brain to work out something, then the person should be well paid.
Yeah.
But somebody will use the leg that the brain controls.
And then, no, you're not giving it fuel.
You will not give the person more than, I don't understand.
It's a pity. They are really not well paid, to be very honest.
Yes.
In fact, Nigerian professors, according to research, shows that they are among the least paid professors in the whole world. In fact, a professor cannot, after working for 30 years or even 40 years, can't even afford to take his own child abroad, or at least have a very comfortable, big mansions like at least most of the politicians are. But you see a councillor in a village having mansion, or even dashing people cars, and you're wondering,
how can a councillor? I don't even understand.
Sometimes,
so
you know,
pathetic.
the truth be told is that these professors are not well paid.
And it should be looked into. Moreover, I don't know, there should be a revolution. I believe there should be a revolution. If you are going for, you want to be a minister, you want to be a senator, or what have you, there should be criteria. Some criteria like, you are coming in here, okay, number one, your children must be in this country. That shows that you are patriotic.
Exactly.
Because you can't just leave your children abroad and you claim that you love me and you want to represent me in the House of Reps. I know that you will go for House of Reps to represent your own family and your to represent your community or what have you, and your own children, they are not even here. What is the evidence that you are
really
patriotic?
Have a right at heart.
Yeah, exactly. I think the criteria for going for House of Reps, for being a minister and all of that should be looked into. I believe this criteria should be looked into. So basically, we have to talk about the positive impacts of ASUU on students. In as much as we talk about the negative impacts, I don't know, we've not really talked much on the negative impacts, but let's just start with the positive impacts of ASUU on students.
Yeah, and I would like to take that aspect. You know, we actually feel that the ASUU strike has more negative impacts on the life of the students now. We are more concerned about the students, but there's actually, even when we have this storm and stuff like that, we can still see that there will still be this ray of sun that will make things beautiful. So talking about the positive impact of the ASUU strike now, which to some is actually not positive, but let me actually outline some positive stuff. So one, we have that students have more time to themselves. It now boils down to the fact of on how students are handling the time. So people actually like this free time to themselves, where they'll be able to make researches. You know, they take up more courses online, and then they are able to, you know, broaden their horizons and stuff like that. That's on one aspect. And there are some people that are very good with, maybe they've learned one work or the other. This the strike, it might actually extend to, like, most time it extends to like months. So this months give them the chance to actually develop on these their skills. Some are into tailoring, some into you know, take cutting of hair or plaiting the hair, some into other skills that they've accrued. So this period give them the, let me call it the window period actually. Though it's not actually the window period, but this time gives them this opportunity to sharpen their skills again, among other benefits. Like, do you have other benefits that we have?
Is it on students only?
On the students now,
on
we are more
students
concerned.
well, that's you know, for people like some people in my class, this gives them the opportunity to make distinction. You know,
to read,
get distinction in anatomy. So they're like, oh my god, I have to jack, because to make distinction in the University of Ibadan, medical school is not easy. So some of my classmates are like, oh, no time. Strike, I have to make distinction, and I'm like, wow, well, that's nice. So we do that on my own, the expense of my own time and my life. So but this is actually one of the positive impacts. So,
and as much as we are concerned about the academic aspect too, it gives the students also more time to develop their spiritual lives. You know, you can find a student that's been like grappling with taking his quiet time or going to the mosque to pray. You can see the person, you know, paying more attention to things of the Bible or the Quran, and then trying to understand God more and stuff like that, building their spiritual life. So that's another crucial aspect
of ASUU strike.
Yes, one of the benefits of ASUU strike.
I know someone that was like, at this stage, I am going to finish my Bible for the fourth time, and I was like, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. So people have different things that they want to be doing with the ASUU strike and all. So basically, but let's check out the negative side of ASUU.
So for the negative side, it's outweighs the positive side.
It's
but
outweighs
a
really.
lot. Like it's like, you know, carrying a heavy load on your head and then carrying a small bag. So that's just the way it is. But let me just start. Number one negative side is the fact that, let me give an example of deaths of UI students, which happened during the strike. Some of them, during the last strike, I know we lost about 2 students who were home just because of the strike. They would have been in school. One had to go and work. Where was working in Ibadan, in a factory. He lost his life.
Yeah.
Most of us remember. So that's
Yes.
one. Other one, while they were going home, they had accident on the way. What if they were here?
Exactly.
Such would not have happened. That's one negative impact. Secondly, a calendar that is not regular, an irregular calendar.
Oh my God, quite disruptive. Exactly.
Imagine after gaining admission 2020,
And
2019, thank you.
18 actually,
18.
we got the admission 18.
We got let me even use the
Let's
freshers
use
100
the
level.
UI.
Yes.
Let's
Got
use
admission
the UI.
the 20 resumed in 2022.
22 after 2 years.
After 2 years.
And
And
still
still
went
not
back on
much.
strike.
on
They've not
strike
even started.
again.
They don't even know the
So,
head. They'll tell us.
Kilo
So
day.
the calendar
Seriously.
is not constant. It's irregular. And when you have an irregular calendar, the smooth running of the school and the administration is destroyed.
Yes.
It's because the school. Imagine you
It's
had
not
to
only
cancel.
sluggish now. It's epileptic.
It's
It's
epileptic.
epileptic.
You had to cancel a whole session.
Yeah.
I think that was 219, 220, right? They had
No,
to cancel.
220 to 21.
Okay.
Okay, they had to cancel 220. They had a whole calendar,
And it hasn't
session.
happened before.
A whole session.
Though Corona was still part of
And
it.
when I once sat under Professor Olayinka, Professor Idowu Abel Olayinka, and he was saying that UI is even owing many years.
The former vice chancellor.
The former vice chancellor, due to the strike, they're owing many years. I think he said about, I can't really remember, about 6-8 years. So they have to beat up those time to come back to number of years.
One time we feel we're already cashing up, and then the ASUU strike comes again
comes.
and shatters everything.
We now go back to the first stage again.
Exactly.
Stage again.
Back to
So
square one.
it makes the calendar irregular. That's number 2. Number 3, it extends the time of study. Imagine as a young man of 18 years, you come into the university and you said, I want to study medicine.
That's for someone
I
whose
finished
education
from
is
24.
fast
It's
again.
fast.
No.
For it's fast. So 18 years
God
you
bless
finished. You came into the university
Yes,
at 18.
it was even fast.
Before.
You that came in at 20, and maybe your family is saying, hello,
Hello,
is
and
there,
as in
is
what?
there,
Like,
is
your
nobody
family,
saying,
they are actually depending on you that my students in the
you have to
university.
is in the university?
So you come in
Our
at the age
people are
of,
even asking you, hello, is no man is even saying
as
hello,
18,
hello, sister.
sorry, as a lady, nobody
Yes,
saying
exactly.
Hello, sister. Or when will you even get married and
Married,
things like
the way
that?
you're 34.
Oh, yeah. So and so you enter into the school as a young person, 18 years or 19.
Yeah, you're living
And then
as
you're like,
a full
ooh,
blown
as
matured
matured.
adult.
And you're
Like,
by, let's say you're studying medicine, and I said 6
Whoa.
years. Wow, I'll live 18. By the age of 24.
For
bam,
bam, finish.
nowadays, you don't even plan 6 or 7 years
like the
again.
Yoruba
Yeah.
say,
You had
"Opari."
the ASUU years.
Party.
But
ASUU strike years.
by the time
Also
you
strike, yeah.
you
You
receive
just
one
say plus
strike,
or minus 2.
another strike.
Ta.
You're adding +1 before you know you say +2.
Plus
And
2.
at the
It's
end
not
of the
even
day,
minus now.
You've spent 8 years. 8
For
years
Christ's
plus
sake.
9 years for a course
It's
of
actually not
6
funny,
years.
and it's not helpful.
It's not really.
Then-
It's not
shattering,
helpful.
it's shattering.
It's completely shattering. Then you have a plan. Say, oh my God, maybe finish school. You know, we are doing like Sabinos. Finish school at the age of 24,
I know,
25.
right?
You know,
Yeah.
20,
Get
then
working.
27.
Where are you at this stage?
You won't work. 27. You don't marry.
Yeah,
You know, you have
Perfect life.
perfect life. 30. You know, Ben Cassin. Bam. 35. Chief of staff. All those kind of things. And I see somewhere looking at you saying, you don't know
You
what
don't-
strike
you
was
don't
that.
know about
You
it.
don't know about it.
About it. So this is these are one of the things that we are talking about. You talk about rushing the academic calendar. You see some universities, once the strike is called off, what happened?
Hey.
They do a 3 years work
In 2 months.
in 2 months.
Just let's say maybe 5 months now.
They just cover
Putting lots of strain.
stress and strain on students.
students.
Because they don't care.
You
It's
see
not.
some
They,
people
they
taking
don't care about
drugs,
the
Some
quality.
just break down.
They just break down.
Yeah, their mental health
They don't
is
care about
so
producing
affected.
quality. They just want to keep putting load
Just
on
pack
load.
them
It's
and
like-
let's
it's like
receive
giving a child.
Many
you keep-
universities
it's like
are living
and
with old past glory.
past glory. It's
I won't
like
even
taking
lie.
it's like taking water soluble and keep pumping it onto a child. It's only the ones that will be effective that will be effective. The rest are being wasted to the urine. So that's
Exactly.
just the same way it is.
Yeah.
They just keep pumping and yeah, come on, the jack. It gets to a point, the brain knock,
brain
bam, like
knocks,
engine,
exactly.
and then the person runs mad or maybe has some mental issues,
And
then
then
you're
after
asking
And then
You
the
do
same
not know why.
university that caused all the issues and stuff, you see this same
It's the
university
same
can
thing.
no longer tolerate them. They have to tell them.
They have to tell them
Yes,
to go to a psychiatric hospital,
or rehab.
go
And
to
then
all those
before they
things.
can get themselves back again,
So-
and then they will come back and they'll be ostracized.
so
Ostracized.
much.
So that's number 5. Then number 6.
Terrible.
Wastage of money, wastage of funds. Okay, quite all right. We pay school. This school fees will still last, isn't it? But the food where they chop during the strike, you know, be waste. For now, I'm not
Exactly.
at home. I'm in school. We have to be eating. They will send you money for
And
you go to chop.
if you don't have parents that are understanding, they
Thank
just
you.
tell you come home.
We
Come
come
Then
home.
you go home and then everything you've
Everything
learned,
you've
everything
learned,
is
you just
When you now
leave.
want to sit
And then
down
you come
small,
back
they will
again.
not tell you, come and do this one. Come and pick this person from
Come
school.
and do that, come and do
do
that.
this. They will not even understand you have an exam.
Waiting, did they teach us? So that kind of thing.
Today I was thinking of quadriceps. I said what I looked
Imagine.
for the muscles that made up the quadriceps and I couldn't remember.
You see.
Imagine.
So imagine
Said, what is
let's
it?
even assume you went
That
home
that's for how many months now? Let's not
than
imagine
2
like it's
months,
not
oh.
now a year.
and you went home, and then when the strike that called up, then you decided to come back.
Yeah.
Imagine by then your brain will be like say they collect hypo
to playground.
and then washed all your brains, everything.
Oh, the Durama.
So the loss of funds. You're you're expending more than you're achieving. Being at home, being in school, obviously, seeing people around you.
Exactly,
pro-
they sharpen you,
Yeah, they
yes,
sharpen
they
you.
put this
You want
pressure
to,
on
you know, to study. You want to do a lot of
study,
things.
yes.
But when you're
home.
but staying doing that same stuff, you are burning food. You are eating. You are eating like a
Yes.
donkey. You are eating everything.
And even if you've noticed, it's then that you feel even
You
more
don't want to
hungry.
eat because you're
Exactly.
home. It has shown that when you're at home, you tend to eat more than someone who is
who is
outside.
in
Because
school.
you are idle. Your mind is nothing. You just want to be eating
And then
everything.
you burn
You get, and then so you're wasting money. Your parents are sending you money, and you're eating for nothing.
Exactly for
It's eating for nothing. So that's one of the things that ASUU strike does.
doors.
It's not just